Hey, Mary here. Welcome to the Builder Lead podcast. Today, I'm super excited to share with you some stats that always come as a surprise to any of our builders that don't know us well, and also just the general public. Sometimes I'll be talking to folks about, marketing for builders and how people are really going about buying homes today. So the first statistic is really that 97% of home buyers begin their home buying journey online. This is from the National Association of Realtors. And I think what's most interesting about that stat is that it includes 87% of people over the age of 75. I think there's just still this idea that it's the kids that are online, and we know that's not true. Everybody's online, including grandma and grandpa, who may very well want to be downsizing or retiring or building a family compound, where they can have all the kids and grandkids. So I think that's just really, the thing you've got to keep in mind today. Now, this includes, looking at existing homes. But as we know, often, especially in today's day and age, you can't find what you want because the existing inventory is very low. So this opens up opportunities where people really want to build a home. The second statistic that I want to share with you is that before anyone ever picks up the phone or visits your model home or visits you, they have already done 70% of their research, completed 70% of their buying journey. This is from a few different companies, actually. And in fact, it's even been as high as 90% in some of these studies. 70% is probably quite conservative. This is from Google Research, from Forrester Research, so very big names in the research world. And what does this mean for you? It means that, you really have to have a website. You need to have educational content, especially if you're in the modular space. But I think any home building is a very, can be kind of a scary seeming process, right? For the average person, buying a home is likely the biggest financial decision somebody's going to make. Building a home is just that much more complex. It's not something people do frequently for the most part. So you really want to make sure that you think through that buying journey. Like, how are they finding you online? What does your website look like? What kinds of information do you have? Are you helping them with their research? Are you helping them hopefully decide to build a home with you? Are you online on social media, but you haven't posted in weeks or months? Do you look outdated? Do you have projects from years ago that are no longer relevant and really don't reflect your work? I think this is just really important that you think this through because, again, they may never call you, but if they do call you, then chances are they've already done all that research. So another stat from Forbes is that people give a website 5 seconds to make a first impression, right? I think we've all heard that, saying that you only have one chance to make a first impression. So what does that look like in 5 seconds? Let's say you are not even thinking about home building. Let's say you're looking at a hotel to stay at. If they have an old website that's broken links, looks outdated, are you going to stay there? No. So I think you have to think of the same thing with your website. What are you putting out there about yourself? Because 5 seconds is not a long time, right? And you want somebody to hopefully look at it 5 seconds and say, I want to know more about this builder. I want to know more about the process. I want to know more about the homes that I could potentially build. So, I think that's just something we all have to keep in mind. And the last stat I really want to share with you is that Americans on average, and this is from Fortune, spend 7 hours a day on the internet. This is kind of astounding, but is it really? Now, the builders we work with, when I share that, they are genuinely surprised because that is not the case for many builders. The if you're a builder, you're probably in the field a lot. You're probably, meeting with suppliers, meeting with clients. You're not sitting in front of a desk all day. But you have to think about, who are you selling to? If you're selling to somebody who works in an office, who's a lawyer, even doctors today with electronic health records are probably online quite a bit. And then we have all kinds of entertainment online, right? We look at social media feeds. We maybe even watch YouTube videos or watch TV online. So it's really not that surprising. And it really lends itself to that you have to have a website, a social presence, that when somebody is online, they're finding you in the best light. So I hope you find this really helpful today. I think it also indicates why you really want to think about your marketing as a system, which was our last podcast episode. One-offs don't really work. You really have to think of the entire buyer journey, and so much of it is happening online that your digital presence is really key. So I hope you'll tune in again. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review, share this podcast with other builders, and have a great rest of your day.